This episode of the podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/lightscameranonsense. Visit patreon.com/lightscameranonsense to help support your favorite new movie podcast. Now, let's get started.
Hey, there's loose pie.
You guys got any loose pie?
I don't know. That's so funny. I know it's a quote from something else and you're modifying it, but it's still funny.
That's comedy for you.
Anybody wanted
I'll take the joke and just switch it up.
Hey, plagiarism is
Alive and well.
alive and well. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lights, Camera, Nonsense, where we give you all the latest movie magic you may have missed. You see how I tweaked it?
Yeah,
I
it's
changed
good.
it?
Yeah. It's like Wingardium Leviosa.
Yes, it's exactly that magic. I am Nick, sick, but like the 90s version of sick. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what up? That man's sick. Like, oh, or that dude, that trick that guy did was
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Simmons.
And I'm Zach Radical, as in just radical.
Like Che Guevara? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like take down the man, Radical.
Uh-oh.
Smith.
Uh-oh. Let's roll into the previews. Zach, what have you been watching?
So, we had a theme this week.
Yes.
We'll get into that later.
Yes.
Outside of the theme, I watched two things of note. One being, I watched the first episode of the new Jason Segel show, Dispatches from Elsewhere. Have you heard of this?
I have not even heard of this.
I hadn't. Well, I had seen like one or two ads before, I think, because when I was told about it, I was like, that sounds vaguely familiar. Like, I think
Sounds like a Terry Pratchett book.
it's weird. It's a weird one. It's like if you did a Black Mirror episode and then stretched it into a full series.
Huh.
It's what it feels like anyway.
Yeah.
So Jason Segel plays this guy named Peter, and he's kind of like just going through the doldrums of life, and like he has nothing. He goes to work every day. He gets the same lunch, comes home, eats dinner in bed, has the same dinner, and then wakes up the next day and does. It's funny, they do, the introduction is like, they make a whole meta thing about it where, I'm trying to remember who the guy is. Hold on, let me look it up. Because I know I've seen him in something.
So this is a series that just started this year?
Yeah, like a
2020?
couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
It airs on AMC.
AMC, okay. So something I would probably miss. I did I tell you that I canceled Disney Plus?
You didn't? No.
Oh, yeah. I canceled it just kind of...
Dude, they're adding Frozen 2 tomorrow.
I know, 3 months early.
Yeah, I know.
And they're actually adding, not Endgame. What was the other one? There was another movie that was... Oh, Rise of Skywalker. It's not Disney Plus, but Rise of Skywalker is
digital.
actually coming to digital a couple of days early, too.
Yeah.
As opposed to March 17th, it's actually... Is it now, I think? Today?
Yes, it's on digital now.
So.
Richard E. Grant.
Oh, yeah, the villain from Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I can't believe that tied together.
He, yeah, that was oddly cognizant. That was weird.
You're welcome. I know the future.
He was also in Logan.
Yeah, he was the villain in Logan.
He's just a bad guy.
Well,
Which maybe
he's very good at playing a bad guy.
he is. Oh, he's in this so far from the first episode. Oh,
I was gonna let you go.
you're a
go
Billie
on.
Eilish stan. Apparently.
Yeah. That old William Eyelash.
Judging from the first episode, he might not necessarily be a bad guy in this, but first episode, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to give it a couple episodes.
he is like the narrator. So he starts the show going like, "Hey, you know all that exposition at the beginning of a series that you're super used to by now?
Yeah.
We're just gonna ignore that." And he's basically just flat out telling you this. Like, it's like a straight on camera faced at him. And he's saying to you in the camera, "Yeah, we're going to trim that down from 20 minutes to a 2-minute intro real quick."
So like an unreliable, omnipotent narrator.
So I'll get to that at the end of this little thing.
Okay.
he's introducing Peter, and he's like running through his day, and he's basically saying, like, now imagine that Peter is you. Like, basically, the everyman of this story is you. And then he kind of he segues into this bit where he's telling you that he says there is only one thing he lied about in his introduction. And as always, you can trust him as a reliable narrator.
Okay.
So there's like this first 5 minutes of like meta, like finagling going on here.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. And that's before we even really get into the show. So Peter is like super bored with life, and he is walking down the street one day, and he keeps looking at these like flyers, you know, like the things you can pick off, like
the
a number
little
for,
like little stubs,
like the tabs,
yeah.
For like various things. There's like a program where you can mentally talk to dolphins, and then there's another one where it like you can view your memories on like VHS tapes or something.
Okay.
And it's unclear if that's actually happening, but it shows those.
Yeah.
As like almost like a what if. Like Peter is imagining himself doing these. Well, then there's another one after all this when he's walking home at night. He sees a guy putting up another flyer, and he's like in a hood and he has sunglasses on.
Secretive.
Yeah, and he like notices Peter looking at him, and then he runs off. So Peter goes to check the flyer, and it's a "Have you seen this man?" And it's the picture is the guy who's putting up the flyer.
Oh.
So he takes the number, he calls it, and it's like he is told to go to this building like downtown, and like it's all secretive and everything. And
yeah.
People are like, when he's interacting with people who are part of this, they're like super fucking weird, like
shady and like
not
dismissive.
Shady, just like weird, you know.
Okay.
Like if you met them in real life, you'd be like, that person's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he probably kills people,
or he probably does meth every Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I guess less severe than doing rabbit ears.
So he goes through all this. He gets into a room, and there's a whole lead up where he's walking through hallways, and like there's some weird shit on the walls. But eventually he gets to a room, and he sees a video with Richard E. Grant, the narrator, talking to him. It's like, this is the life you're in now is not what you're worth. Like, you're worth more. So allow me to invite you into this thing.
Okay.
And then, like, one thing, I hate when people say one thing leads to another, because it's like so much. It's like the yada 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 bit in Seinfeld.
The plot continues.
If I kept going, I would recap this entire episode. So basically, it gets to a point where Peter meets other people who have also had this experience.
Okay.
There's a girl, let me think, that like Sally Fields is in this, Andre 3000.
Weird cast.
Yeah. And who is the girl? It's Eve something,
Who's
I think.
that girl?
Not.
It's just.
No.
I've been watching a lot of New Girl. Again.
Eve Lindley.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, she's a relative newcomer.
Oh, okay.
But she's great. But basically, this group of people are part of this thing. Like, they're all directed to go through these, like, obstacles. At one point, Peter's in the street dancing with Bigfoot while it's raining.
Okay.
It's super fucking weird, man. And it's unclear whether or not this is, like, real. Like, basically, at the end of the episode, this group of characters sits down in a diner, and they're, like, talking about their theories. Because, basically, they're on sort of a quest. Like, they've been told that they need to find this person.
Right.
Who's missing. And it's this girl who invented some product called the I.D.E.A. The idea.
Yeah.
And they're coming up with theories, and it's unclear whether or not it's like an elaborate kind of like escape room, or like, what do they call it? Like an AR experience.
ARG. Or,
Yeah.
Augmented reality game.
Right. Or if it's real. So it's kind of like towing that line between it. Very strange, but, honestly, it got me hooked, so I'll probably watch more of it. Unfortunately, I don't have cable, so I'll probably just have to watch it at my mom's.
AMC.com?
No, I watched the first episode at my mom's, so that's probably why I'll keep watching it.
That's fine. I'm sure that they probably have episodes on their website, though.
I think you have to pay.
Oh.
I think you have to have a cable service.
Lame. Curse you, AMC.
But anyway, that was a bit longer than I wanted to go into that. But it is very weird.
It's a very weird show.
And I think it's flying under the radar because, like you said, you hadn't heard of it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see where it goes. So I hope at least some people are watching it because, frankly, it's better than The Walking Dead.
You know what this actually reminds me of? And AMC does this a lot, along with FX and all the other not independent, but like the smaller network channels that, aren't necessarily tied to a streaming service like Hulu or Netflix. There was a show on, I can't remember if it was FX or AMC, but it was about like aliens and stuff, and like there was a support group for people who were like who believed in aliens.
Was that not The Leftovers?
No, it was a comedy show.
Oh,
and it had three alien people or three aliens from different races that were like messing with like these group of people.
Is
and
that the
like,
Wyatt
abducting
Cenac
aliens?
one?
What's that?
The Wyatt Synapse one, or what's his name from Daily Show?
I could not tell you. I don't watch
that. Sounds vaguely familiar. I don't know.
I mean, there were recognizable people in
People
the
of
show.
Earth?
People of Earth.
Yeah, that is the show I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that. Yeah.
And that was great. And it got canceled after
three. I thought it was.
It was 3
three
seasons. Yeah. But then it ended on a cliffhanger, of course. Had Peter Serafinowicz towards the end, and it was great. But it reminds me of that, and to where it's like it's just weird enough that it seems like it was written by. Not Andy Kaufman. Who wrote Adaptation?
Oh God.
Adaptation. I'm drunk. I've had half a Guinness.
Charlie Kaufman.
Charlie Kaufman. I almost said Andy Kaufman.
I mean,
Charlie Kaufman's known for writing really weird scripts and stuff, but it kind of reminds me of that. Just kind of or Man Seeking Woman on FX.
Oh yeah,
I think.
yeah.
It's like almost weird in the way that it's presented as being kind of satirical towards normal life, and like if something even remotely weird happens, you start to question everything about it.
Right.
It's like kind of where we are as a society, where people who may live a total normally life, and then as soon as something weird happens, they're like, well, this will kind of get me out of the rut, this will be something interesting. I don't know, it's kind of a dose of reality mixed in with something.
Yeah, it's the off kilter.
Yeah. It reminds me of like Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Kind of in a way.
Did you ever watch the? It's one of the very first like Hulu original shows. But The Booth at the End.
I did not know.
I kind of get that vibe from this, from Dispatches from Elsewhere, where it's like, yeah, it's very grounded, but it's also like has the peaks of like nonsensical or like otherworldly sort of thing. Yeah. And the thing with that show is you never, if I remember it correctly, the premise of The Booth at the End was that there was this guy who could basically do whatever you asked him to, but you had to give him something in return.
Right.
And you would go to the booth at the end. It was kind of like a deal with the devil sort of thing. And it was unclear whether or not this guy was good or bad.
Interesting. I like the idea.
Yeah, it was a mini series. I think it was only like 6 episodes.
2 seasons, yeah.
Sorry?
You're good.
But yeah, that's kind of what the feeling I'm getting from Dispatches is. But anyway, all that to say is I think you should probably check it out.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, it's like something different. And again, it's better than most of the stuff AMC is producing right now. Like 5 different Walking Dead shows.
Yeah. Those were fake coughs. I'm okay.
Anyway, after that, I also, Casey and I saw The Invisible Man last week.
You did? Yay! So, I mean, we talked about it, kind of reviewed it, but give me your thoughts.
So, very good movie. Very well shot, very well paced. The tension is just like constant. I believe you said something to that effect, whereas like there's no sense of ease anywhere in the movie.
Because
even by the end, when everything is over, you're still kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, there's still the chance.
Yeah.
And like, it makes you, the ending makes you think, and not in a way like, like they give you a question or anything like that, but it's like,
what happens after this sort of thing. Yeah.
Because there's still the possibility of things like this.
Yeah. Excuse me. The Guinness is getting to me.
We are drinking Guinness because it's, I didn't give the date. I almost said fucking April. March 14th. I know where I am. I know what day it is. It's March 14th, so it's Pie Day, but it's also a couple of days before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, and you did bring a pie for us to eat.
I did, but you're not a pie guy.
I'm not a pie guy.
Liar.
Yeah.
You go to Craft Pies down the street.
That's pizza, motherfucker.
It's pizza pie. It's still a pie. I don't like that.
We're not in
pizza pies.
Chicago. Stop that.
Pizza pie. That's what Chicagoans say. Yeah. Anyway, we're drinking Guinness.
Yeah. So I have some burpees.
Yeah. Gross.
Some little burps.
Gross.
Anyway, yeah, Invisible Man. I will say that there are a lot of moments in the movie where I'm like, you're telegraphing your play there. That's going to come in at some point. Like, the whole ladder thing.
Yeah.
There's literally a part of the movie where there's a ladder that is gifted to someone. It has a bow on it and everything. And it's played for a joke, which it's funny. But, like, you can tell that's going to, like,
be
you're not
pivotal,
yeah, that's going to have a thing later on.
Yeah, but
And there's a couple things like that in the movie, and I'm not, like, it's very nitpicky.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very nitpicky thing, and to be fair, it does it well. Like, I don't want to make the impression where I feel like I can see what you're doing there.
it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
So you're going to be looking for those
I
things.
will say, however, in the climactic battle scene, quote unquote,
Are you talking about
not-
at the house?
at the first house, yes.
Okay.
At the cop's house.
Right.
Yeah.
That involves the ladder?
No, not that one.
Okay.
Like, they're totally separate. I was
Oh,
gonna
okay.
say,
I know what you mean.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
with that, did not expect how that ends to be the way that confrontation ends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You thought it was going to be more
I
like twisty or like
no. Oh, man, it's so hard to talk about without
Yeah.
getting into spoilers.
I think
Can I say it and then like you just cut it out?
yeah, that's fine.
I didn't expect. Are you actually gonna cut it out?
Oh, maybe.
Because I don't want to spoil it. Because it's legitimately, I feel like, the most surprising part of the movie.
Right.
So, other than the rest of it being really just a really well shot and composed movie, like, I feel like that's where a lot of that, at least for me, was like, oh shit, factor comes in. So I'm imploring you to save the viewers or the listeners.
Okay, that's fine. I think that people should be able to draw their own conclusions by going to see the movie.
Yeah.
With everything going on, and when it came out, I
Yeah.
feel like there's been a large breadth of time. But I'll cut it out, especially if we need to cut it out
Yeah.
for time. Spoiler alert!
Like, be a little bit more vague, so now you don't have to cut like 30 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah.
I thought that the people who were, oh man, how do I rephrase this? It's a motherfucker to get around.
I mean, it's up to you to depend on how much you want to spoil.
I thought it was a lie. The whole reveal of, like, this is what happened.
Right.
I felt like that was a lie.
Okay.
And they make Elizabeth Moss's character makes a pretty compelling argument.
Yeah.
And that's how I was feeling at the time too. Like, this is why this is bullshit. And I'm gonna, like, just lay it out for you. I'm like, that's fucking right. Preach, girl.
You go, sister.
That's how I felt.
That's great.
What were you thinking?
Well, that's as soon as the thing that happens at the cop's house happens, I was like, okay, this actually presents a different, like,
Right.
The,
It's like, up to that point, it's been fairly straightforward movie.
yeah.
And then it has that turn, Well, I guess you could even say there's a turn when she goes back to the boyfriend's house.
Yeah.
And she finds what
it is.
What makes the Invisible Man.
What did you think about the design of the suit?
So you mentioned when you were talking about it that it set off your tryptophobia.
Yeah.
And when it first started, I was like, I'm not really feeling that. But then this sequence goes on for a really long time, and it's like going into all the little things.
The little cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel good at all.
And then the ladder scene happens.
Yeah.
And she throws the paint.
Yeah, that was bad too.
Yeah. That
looks like a fucking golf ball.
Yeah. A human golf ball. And
that's the real scary part.
The real horror. You don't want Tiger Woods popping into your house with a golf ball invisible suit. But yeah, I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. And like I said, for nothing else, even if like maybe we're just shitty at trying to hide spoilers or whatever, and you figured everything out, it's still a great movie to watch.
Oh yeah.
Still very, very good. And the fact that they made fucking bank off a $7 million budget, they made like 90 or over 100 million back on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're like, yeah, we're going to do all the Universal movies.
Yeah.
This Blumhouse is the movie producing.
Yeah. And I said this back when Dracula Untold came out. I was like, why is Blumhouse not producing this? Mm-hmm. Because these are horror movie monsters. And granted, yes, they were cheesy even back in the day if you're watching the original films.
Yeah.
I rewatched the original Mummy a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, okay, this
Boris
is kind
Karloff?
of Boris Karloff, yes. Yeah. No, that's not Boris Karloff.
It's Mummy.
It's the Mummy. Mm-hmm. He was also Frankenstein, wasn't he?
He might have played it. I think he played it in a couple ones, but I don't think he was Frankenstein's monster in the first one, like the original.
Right. I could have sworn he was a different Universal monster.
I don't know.
He was the original.
Yeah, he was Frankenstein's monster in all of them, so fuck me.
Aha! Vindication!
And the Mummy.
Okay, cool. That guy was killing it. Watching the original Mummy, I realized, yeah, it's kind of cheesy. It's of the time when they were coming out with all these special effects, especially. Say that 5 times fast. But seeing those, you're like, but these are horror movies. You're supposed to shock and surprise you. Yeah. Why is this big budget director and all of this money being thrown at a prequel series for a character that people don't really have any attachment to?
Well, and I mean,
and then the Mummy with Tom Cruise comes out.
I don't know how many. Honestly, I don't know how many times studios need to learn the same fucking lesson over and over again. Because how many times have we seen the Dark Universe's Mummy? You know, where they had a $400 million budget or whatever, and made a quarter of it back.
Yeah.
And not even like they made a quarter of that. It was a total big loss.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Invisible Man. Same kind of thing, like within the same umbrella of IP, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're doing it for way, way, way less and getting way more out of it. I never understand when, unless you're Sam Raimi, why are you throwing money at this?
And
because horror is so like, I don't want to say easy because there is a fine line between like cheesy and like truly terrifying.
Yeah. We talked about it last episode with Fantasy Island.
Right, but money is not the differentiator. It's the person behind the camera or the scriptwriter, you know. So
it's the love of the property as well. It's all of those coming together. But with Blumhouse having existed for so many years before even Dracula Untold, the Mummy, all of these dark universe attempts, like why weren't they looking at that and going, they made a movie with a $500,000 budget, Paranormal Activity, and then made millions off of that. Why wouldn't we hire them immediately?
And that's what I meant. I thought that was Annapurna.
Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
No, that was Jason Blum and that was like their first big movie. Yeah.
We're looking up a lot of stuff
Yeah,
today.
well, that's all right. Directed by Oren Peli, Blumhouse Productions.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
with a
there you
budget of $15,000. I have way
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah,
and then $193 million.
Well, and like again, that's what I was saying before. Like, when did Paranormal Activity come out?
2007.
2007, and you motherfuckers still don't understand that money does not make a successful horror movie.
Right. So, I mean, granted, we're kind of talking in circles here because Paranormal Activity, like the marked ones or whatever.
Well, yeah,
then,
I mean, like
they
obviously would, and we're seeing it now. It's part of the news docket. Universal has greenlit like 2 or 3 other Universal monster movies being produced by guess who? Blumhouse.
But I mean, hopefully, yeah, they're finally going. You know what? We fucked up. We lost way too much money.
But I mean, studios are always going to do that. You know, if they make massive bank off of a property, they're like, well, shit, let's just do everything.
Let's do that. Might as well. Hopefully, lightning can strike twice, thrice,
Yeah.
thrice, whatever the fourth one is.
But that was what I watched. What did you watch?
So I was all over the place. I watched the one movie that was related to our topic, which we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
But I also watched. What's up?
No, I was just saying we're good.
But I also watched. I got into a weird place where I was getting off of work a little bit early a couple of days this week, and I decided, you know what? I want to watch something I've never watched before. Friday the 13th is coming out, so I have to rewatch Slumber Party Massacre.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I watched the trilogy of Slumber Party Massacre.
You know, you had me there.
Yeah. I almost got you. Yeah, it's Friday the 13th
This is
yesterday.
like the zombie week all over again.
Oh, yeah.
I expect you to come in here with Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah.
George
Night of the Living Dead.
franchise.
No, I went Resident Evil, man. Subbed up all 7 of those movies. So I was watching the Slumber Party Massacre trilogy because I was like, I've seen Friday the 13th. I've seen almost all of them. And like when I was trying to look up Friday the 13th my kind of movies or like cheesy horror B movies, I was like, yeah, Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
Those things are great.
Oh yeah, I love slasher.
They're
movies.
weird. Yeah. The first one is like a guy. It's just a guy with like like one of those automatic drillers kind of thing, and he just goes into the house and kills people. Just a normal looking guy, but he's like a killer and stuff.
Look, everybody's very focused on the mask. People, whatever, but there's just something about a stupid hillbilly.
He's just a guy with a blue jean jacket and like a red shirt and normal haircut and everything. He goes around murdering people. And of course, it's cheesy. It came out 2 years after the original Friday the 13th. Then the sequel comes out like 6-7 years later, and it's supposed to take place with like some characters from the first movie, except the villain in this one, because the original guy dies. You'd think, oh, he's going to come back somehow, because that's how most slashers come. The killers come back for the sequels.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm wrong. Friday the 13th. And some of the Halloween
Also
movies.
Scream.
Yeah, and some of the Halloween movies. In the third one, he's not in that. Anyway, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Fuck. I'm inconsistent with
You're
this.
a lying motherfucker.
In the second Slumber Party Massacre, it's a ghost. It's the ghost of a killer rock and roll hillbilly.
Yes.
So, he haunts the dreams of one of the survivors from the first movie for some reason.
Oh, it's like Dream Warriors.
Yeah, kinda. Actually, yeah. So it's that. And then the third one is it's back to the cheesy stuff, but it's like early 90s.
Yeah.
It's very dated. I don't know how 80s is less dated than 90s stuff.
I think it's because they tried too hard.
Yeah.
Like 90s was when CG just first started to really gain steam.
Yeah.
So you had everybody using it, and only like 5% of those people doing it well. Mm-hmm. So if you go back and look at it, I'm like, oh man,
Oof. That's a big oof from
you
me.
should not have.
Yikes. But I watched those 3, and those were a quick, they're like an hour, 10 minutes each. And then I started watching a Netflix series that just premiered. I watched Beastars, which was an anime that premiered late last year.
Yeah.
It's now on Netflix.
I've been hearing a lot of rumblings about Beastars.
Yeah.
Is it Beastars or Beastars?
It's Beastars, so it's
Like-
it's a
Like
it's,
Beast?
It's the
and
two
then
words.
Space R's?
No, it's 2 words together. It's there's a
Like the Monstars.
yes, but Beast instead of Mon.
How
I
good
hate
is
this.
how good is Zootopia with violence?
So it's essentially, it's got kind of a similar premise to Zootopia, and it's not an unoriginal idea with like anthropomorphic animals.
Is Shakira in it?
Shakira? No, not that I'm aware of. Oh, okay. As a gazelle? No. But it's set in like a high school where, all the students and teachers and basically everybody is an animal. Mm-hmm. And there's kind of a class system between carnivores and herbivores. And at the beginning of the first episode, a student, a young, I don't think it's...
Rabbit?
It's not film student, no. She's one of the main characters, no. It's like a llama kid. But he's a drama student.
Yeah.
He gets murdered by an unknown character, and so there's kind of a Twin Peaks aspect to it, towards like, who killed this person? But it's about this timid, tall wolf student named Legoshi, which... Legoshi.
Legoshi.
No.
Like Bella Lugosi.
No, Legoshi. It's Japanese.
Pretty sure
just
it's
move
Lugosi.
on. Just move on. The kid who got killed, his name is Tim, and then the main rabbit girl's name is Haru, and she's a slut, and everybody hates her. But
dude, what do you expect from a rabbit?
She in the second episode, it's a rabbit in a bra and panties because she thinks that the wolf character who came to help her with her gardening is secretly just trying to sleep with her. So she's like, all right, well, I guess I'll just suck this wolf penis.
So we're really getting down to the crux of why you watch this.
No. Son of a bitch. This is why I shouldn't have said. No, it's actually a really interesting look into...
You've tiptoed into the world of the furries.
Fuck. No, it's a really interesting look into... and the animation is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's definitely got that Netflix money behind the 3D animation.
I heard that was a big sticking point for people who had read it.
Yeah.
And the original manga.
Yeah.
Because I guess the art style wasn't particularly good originally.
I mean,
so now with the anime,
right.
It's been like giving proper...
It looks more fluid.
Yeah.
It probably looks better in motion than it does on the page. Mm. But it's a really interesting story about these students who are, trying to pull off this successful play and become a B-star. A B-star is, according to the show, like a hero that everyone in society looks up to. And
I've heard it's kind of like Cats.
I haven't gotten that far. I've watched 3 episodes. I couldn't tell you. But it's an interesting story so far. Hopefully it's not like fucking Cats. It already looks better than Cats.
If there's a Jellicle in there, you know.
It's not so far. I have not actually. Oh no, there are cat characters in the show, but they're bitches. they're the Heathers of that school.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So B-Stars now interspecies review when?
What, the anime interspecies reviewers?
Yeah.
I'm not watching that. That's just straight hentai, man. I'm not doing that.
Oh, so that's the line for you.
Yes. This actually has a story and a plot, and there's... Just because a bunny takes off her clothes in the second episode doesn't mean that...
My part needs plot.
Fuck it. So I watched those, and then I watched the movie that is the main topic. And I've been watching New Girl, rewatching New Girl. It's a great sitcom.
Yeah.
Who's that girl? It's just... Like Schmidt.
Yeah.
Schmidt's great in that.
So we want to jump into the theme?
Let's get into the main topic. Yeah. Because, today is the day. Today is the day.
The day you've all been waiting for.
Pie day.
Unless you don't like pie. What are you doing?
Well, there's even deals for pizza pies. I don't know why Casey didn't get that $1 pizza deal.
It's Pizza Hut.
What's wrong with Pizza Hut?
It's not Kraft Pies.
Who cares? You know, Kraft Pies didn't exist before... Domino's or Papa John's or Pizza Hut.
So dinosaurs gotta die someday.
It's $1 pizza. It's $1 pizza.
It's $1 pizza. Yeah,
it's not bad. It's not a bad deal. It's cheap. It's literally that pie that I got from the store was $7. It's a gooey pie that's in the fridge now.
It's a bit of a mess.
It's a bit of a it got turned over.
It's
not what. No, it's not. So it's Pie Day, and I thought, you know what? Let's do an interesting. We could do Friday the 13th theme.
Yes, let's do something interesting this time.
Yeah,
because we so often don't.
Fuck every other episode. This one's the best. Recommend this one to everybody else. It's Pie Day, so I'm like, all right. What we can do is we could do a math-related episode because 3.14.
I'm gonna watch. What's the Russell? Not Beautiful Mind.
Yeah. Cinderella Man?
There's that one. What's the Woody Allen one?
The one with
Scoop.
Russell Crowe?
Scoop. No, not with Russell Crowe. Scoop. Is that the one? The mathematician one?
Gwyneth Paltrow?
Is that who it is?
I don't know.
I don't know. There's a Woody Allen movie.
I don't trust Woody Allen. His movies are hard to...
That's fair.
Woody Allen, well, I mean, other than his personal life, Woody Allen is like Noah Baumbach when it comes to like his movies. They're kind of, you have to be in the right mindset to watch his movies because they're very grounded.
Right.
It's like watching somebody else's life.
Yeah.
And, you know, normally that would be fine, but when it comes to fiction, I'd rather get some fantastic elements in there, you know? I want some zombies, I want some dragons, I want whatever.
Some could argue that the most fantastical elements are the human elements.
This podcast is over.
I'm going to mute my mic.
Yeah, go ahead, mute it. I don't want to hear from you.
I was an English major.
So let me just go ahead and get past this preamble, Zach. Fuck. So we decided, hey, let's watch movies where there are significant portions of pie-related media. Let's just go ahead and let's get...
Okay, hold on. You're saying pie-related media. I believe the original challenge was to do baked goods.
Yes, so baked goods. Why? Okay. Did you watch a cake movie?
I watch cake movies, yes.
How many movies did you watch? Pie. How many movies did you watch for the podcast?
Well, one I've already seen like 30 times, and then the other one I watched.
Okay. Yeah. For the first time, I'm guessing?
No, I've seen it before.
Oh.
But I watched it.
You're very confusing. I can't peg you.
I'm an enigma.
Ooh. I hate you.
You never know when I end, just like pie.
But I hate pie. That's my impression.
Pie's the devil.
So, give me the first movie that you watched.
The movie I watched or the movie I've seen 30,000 times?
Give me the movie you've seen 30,000 times.
So, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay, tell me...
the best fucking cake ever.
Are you talking about the one at the beginning?
Yeah, pink cake. The Harry's birthday cake.
The one that Hagrid sits on? Who knows how many fucking cake farts he put on that thing?
He leaned on it.
No, it's fully crushed, all right? Especially in the book when they go into detail about how much ass print there is on that cake. Hey, did you ever go to that website back in middle school when they told you, like, hey, there's a whole website where it's a video of, like, a girl farting on a cake or a meatloaf or whatever?
What the fuck did you do on the internet?
Never mind. I'm laughing, but I'm not kidding. It was like cakefarts.com or something.
I'm just picturing middle school Nick in a dark room alone, like checking over his shoulder a few times and then going,
Cake farts. Yeah, because
here's some meatloaf I'm about to flatulate on.
Okay, she's not 80 years old and from Chicago, I guess?
Sure, I don't know.
Long Island?
You watched the video, you know better than I do.
No, they did not. Okay. So Hagrid sits on this cake.
I have some cake here that I'm going to do a good poot. Tune in next week.
Wait, that was just one fart. Is it one fart a week?
I have so many farts, you don't even know. This
COVID.
link from my OnlyFans account.
It didn't exist back then.
Well,
Imagine coming up with the idea for OnlyFans back in the early 2000s.
I mean, they're off to a rollicking good start.
Yeah, there you go. We don't have to go into the details about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, right? Okay.
Oh, look, you fucking English guy over here.
I'm just saying everybody who's seen that movie or have wanted to see that movie has seen that. It's come out in 2001.
Yeah.
And it's
I want to bring attention to the cake.
Okay, why?
I've brought attention to the cake because it looks good.
It looks good?
Yeah.
Did you ever try to recreate it?
No.
Oh.
I don't bake or cook.
Yeah, that says a lot about you.
I cook things that take very little effort. Like ground turkey and green beans. That's about it.
Oh, you healthy fucker. I'm more of a mac and cheese, chili.
Oh, I could do those.
Grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm just saying my upper bar is ground turkey.
That's fair.
Or maybe some sausages.
You want to put ground turkey on a pedestal?
Don't put ground turkey on a pedestal.
You got a thought on that thing.
I'm Gina. Welcome back to Farts Weekly.
Would be Gina. God.
Here's some ground turkey on a pedestal. It's super raw.
One could almost say it's still alive.
I say no. Watch us.
You can fart on a live turkey. Oh my gosh.
Watch as I let one rip right in his face.
I'm sorry.
Happy Thanksgiving.
My cheeks. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm not kidding. I'm cutting everything that's being recorded for the next 2 minutes. Oh. Fucking dick. So what was the other movie you watched?
Sorry. Your reaction is killing me. The other movie I watched was Matilda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just went full cake.
Yeah, fuck pies.
Okay, well...
Fuck pie, dude. I'm dying on this.
Well, I thought for sure you were going to go with one of the movies that will actually be tied into that statement, but okay.
Well, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was thinking of that movie too, and I was like, I don't want to watch that movie, so I watched Matilda instead.
You watched Matilda instead of American Pie.
Yes.
We're talking about American Pie,
Yeah.
obviously. So the obviously horrific scene where a fat kid is being forced to eat chocolate cake.
Yes, but he makes it his win.
Okay,
turns
in
it
a way,
around.
but
Yeah.
that kid has probably diabetes and
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
But that cake looks super good.
So you watch these movies based on how super good these cakes looked.
I thought that was the point.
I mean,
You told me best baked goods in movies.
I should have been
and
more
that's what I rolled with.
I thought you were going to pick
were-
a pie-related thing because it was Pie Day.
You didn't say best movies with baked goods in them.
I mean, maybe I should have been more specific, I guess. You say you didn't watch American Pie. You didn't watch any of them.
No, I've seen them once and I'm good.
See, I've actually, it's funny. I've never actually even finished an American Pie movie.
They're good.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah.
Like literally.
No, I said you're good, not
oh,
they're
I'm good. Okay, good. I thought you were defending American Pie for a second.
No.
So one of the movies I watched was, or the only really topic-related movie I watched was, of course, Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
Because when I announced the topic, I was like, so because it's Pie Day, and I could reread it, but I don't want it. My phone's too far. It's
literally right next to you.
It's right next to my right hand. I was like, okay, so let's watch pie related. It's Pie Day. Let's do best baked goods in movies. I'll admit, I did that. I thought you were gonna go for The Help. I thought you were gonna go.
See, I've never seen The Help.
Okay.
I thought about doing Waitress as well,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I went with Matilda.
You could have literally gone above and beyond and gotten the highbrow
Matilda's
pie
a good
related.
movie. I don't know why you're ragging on Matilda so much. Danny DeVito.
I don't
is
like
yucking
Danny
it up?
DeVito directed films. Maybe that's just me.
You're a Danny DeVito directed film.
Oh. What act am I in?
What act? Like what part of the
Yes.
story?
Yeah.
Act 3, obviously.
Shit. Close to done.
Now we just super chuckling.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So I watched Sweeney Todd, the 2007 version. I was going to subvert your expectations because I thought you were going to take
Who are
this.
you, Ryan Johnson?
I was going to throw you for a loop because I thought you were going to take this seriously, but no.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
When have I ever taken it seriously? 80s Week was the last time I took it seriously.
Yeah, when you really, really you didn't know any of the action movies during that. Was that the quiz, right? The 80s quiz.
We did 80s Week and then we did Action Week. And
yeah.
you gave me an action movie quiz and it was awful.
It was bad because you have no taste in action movies.
That's true.
It's so weird. Man. You have so many Disney movies. What am I looking at?
You motioned to a stash of PlayStation games. Look at these Disney.
All of those movies.
The Disney produced Doom. I'm Gina. I'm here to flashlight on 2016's Disney's Doom.
Disney's Doom. Fucking Gina.
Anyway, Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. So I was going to subvert your expectations by watching The Tale of Sweeney Todd with Ben Kingsley, who plays Sweeney Todd. This was like a Showtime original movie that premiered like 2004, I think.
It was before the movie.
It was way before the Tim Burton one.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I kind of like the Tim Burton one. The music in it is really good. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
I was in a theater class in high school. I did the opening monologue to this.
Oh, you did? Opening monologue or opening song?
It was a song, but I didn't sing.
I almost did Worst Parts of London. No, it's the
No Place Like London.
No Place Like London.
Yeah, that one.
No, there's no place like. What did you think of Johnny Depp's singing voice?
I thought it was fine.
Because he's known for being in a band and like singing actual songs. I worded that poorly, but it just seems just kind of off. And I know he, compared to everybody else, even and nepotism aside, because there was nepotism. Hillary Bonham Carter.
Different person.
A different person. Totally different. Helena Bonham Carter, who was married to Tim Burton at the time.
Yeah.
She actually sings really well in this.
She does, yeah.
Almost to where it's like, it's weird that, she was definitely hired and, she auditioned and made it because they had...
just because, like, a lot of people make a big guff about her being in every Tim Burton film, and there's no denying that nepotism probably played a big role in some of those spots, but she's still a good actress.
She's a good actress. No, I'm not denying that or minimizing it at all. In fact, that's why I'm saying her music or her singing in this was really fantastic.
Yeah.
But then you also hire non-singers like Alan Rickman, who's not known for singing. Although I'm sure he was on Broadway, wasn't he, or West End?
He didn't start acting until like he was 50. So
Die Hard was his first movie. But I know he was definitely in plays and stuff before he was an actor, like in movies.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you if it was musicals or not.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. But the fact that Helena Bonham Carter was singing they all had to audition for Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah. Right.
Who was the original writer for this adaptation of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he approved them all. So, that notwithstanding.
Well, I think with a lot of the people who are singing, they're doing so in a kind of a tempered fashion.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's like a talk singing kind of.
Helena Bonham Carter is kind of like, going like singing, like projecting her voice. And that kind of thing. And you do have like Anthony does that too. I'm pretty sure he did Broadway.
Yeah.
And
he was also in Twilight.
Joanna, for sure, is singing. Even though it's a little tough to get through those scenes sometimes because it's very high pitched.
Yeah. But you have to have a wide.
It's not good, but it's like a little, like just on the cusp of like grading. Where she's like, and she's supposed to be like a songbird, so her voice is really high.
So it's a really well cast film, regardless.
And I feel like in that same regard, like Alan Rickman, Johnny Depp, those guys, Sacha Baron Cohen, they're singing in a way that is applicable for their characters.
Right.
Cohen is like this seedy oil salesman, so he's like more about making the sale and, getting people to come in than he is about
fake accent
being true, And then Depp, he, obviously he's a bit disturbed, so his singing is a little bit more like guttural
and angry.
And then you have Rickman, who's like a bit more classical than the other two, but also like kind of very proper sort of thing.
Not to the detriment of Alan Rickman's performance in this. You know who would have been better? And I don't think he's not in it. Christopher Lee would have been a great Judge Turpin.
He would have, and he has the metal background, so that would have been interesting.
I mean, go on.
I don't know. I'm never going to begrudge any Alan Rickman role.
No. Again, not to the detriment of their performances, but it's a great film. It's definitely kind of cheesy with its special effects. Some of the gore effects.
It's a little dated. Sometimes, the blood looks a little bit like jelly.
Yeah. And some of it even looked orange when it was on some of the some of the costumes whenever it gets spread on there. But the music in it is great. Obviously, tying it into the main topic of the podcast, they do kill people and then
bake them into pies.
Bake them into pies. Yeah,
Mr. Lover's meat pies.
I wish I had the lyrics and stuff, but I should have printed that out so we could sing some of them. But
it's the reprise of
Pirelli's
Elixirs.
Miracle Elixir. That's what did the trick. So true, so true.
So you remember that one?
Mrs. Lovett meat pies. This is Mrs. Pete's eyes. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
just right out there. Those are Mrs. Pete's eyes.
Yeah, I recognize those eyes anyway.
Those are really making the flavor come together.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what happens to those body parts that don't really. I mean, eyes can get squished, right? But the bones and stuff.
Oh, I'm not enjoying this convo.
Well, I didn't enjoy the turkey farts earlier, so
Didn't you though?
I did a little. I wanted to watch more, and we could obviously talk about American Pie and him fucking the pie, Jason Biggs. And that's
we don't have to.
We don't have to, but I'm saying like that was why we brought it up earlier. And then in The Help, she makes a shit pie.
She does do that, yeah.
Yeah, and then has her eat it. And those are great. And of course, we could talk about non-gross pies in fiction, like you referenced Waitress and all of that. But
which that movie is basically all about pies, from what I hear.
Exactly. We could even talk about baked goods. You could talk about the scene where Kristen Wiig makes a delicious-looking cupcake for like an entire 5 minutes in Bridesmaids. Yeah. And I was like, wow, she's really good at that.
Yeah. We can talk about half-baked goods with Dave Chappelle's Half-Baked.
Yeah,
that's what they were talking about.
That's just a weed movie. That's just them smoking weed and getting into trouble.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's I'm trying to think of other cake movies. See, I didn't even focus on the cake aspect because I'm like, it's Pie Day, so I'm going to talk about pie movies. Well, that's because
you have a pie mind. I have a cake mind.
I enjoy... Okay, do you enjoy cake more than pie? I enjoy both of them equally. I mean, if there's a good pie that's not goopy like mine...
Well, let's be real. If I have the choice for any dessert, it's going to be a motherfucking brownie.
Brownie, okay. Yeah. So like just a straight tray of brownies?
Yeah, I'll eat it all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, brownies, cookies.
I was gonna say, you know what's good? Cookie cakes.
Cookie cakes
where it's
are
just
good.
It's essentially a pizza pie crust of cookie.
I do like cookie cakes, but I think I still like cookies, just normal cookies.
Normal cookies, yeah, because it's a better portion size.
Yeah. I like cupcakes more than normal cakes. Don't ask me why. I have no reason.
It's a portion size thing. I think it's the same argument as the cookie cakes versus cookies.
Bundt cakes.
Yeah,
I
could take them or leave them.
Oh, so you're not a nothing Bundt fan.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So help me God. I hate that you have created your own character. Oh, great. Add it to the cast.
On the other part.
Fuck. Great. We have our own characters now. Add it to the list. But, I thought we would have more than that, honestly. We could have gone
Did you enjoy revisiting Sweeney Todd?
See, I've watched it so many times, and actually, I have a playlist of the Sweeney Todd soundtrack to listen to. It's certain songs, like some of them, obviously, I don't really. Like By the Sea, is enjoyable.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
It's at the same time.
Comparatively, though.
Yeah. Women or Pretty Women, I could shove off to the side. Yeah. It's some of the ones that are obviously like A Little Priest is great.
Yeah.
The ones that are like just kind of catchy, I like listening to those.
Yeah.
But I have a whole playlist of musical songs, and maybe we'll go over it in a episode later. But
musical episode part 2.
We'll have another musical episode. It's gonna happen, but we'll have to prepare a little bit more.
Maybe I'll actually sing them this time.
Yeah, maybe you actually will sing them. Put in a little effort, man.
I'm a little bit more sing-songy now.
Oh, are you? Yeah. What changed?
I just grew to trust you.
Don't. Just saying, don't.
Be careful of Lick, Zach. He's gonna fart on you.
It's the worst part of that character is the fact that you put so little effort in.
It's very little effort. It's about as minimal effort as it could have gotten.
But to the listeners, can you think of another pie-related episode? And we'll get into the news here in just a second. But if you can think of any other pie-related movies that we missed, I know that there's ones out there that we missed. I did a quick Google search when I trying to come up with one, but
just remembering Back to the Future. There's a cake they bake for Uncle Joey's parole, and then he doesn't get out.
oh yeah,
It has a little jailbird.
oh
guy.
yeah, that's very specific, man. That's like
I've seen Back to the Future.
blink and you'll miss it. Yeah, I know.
Many times.
Oh, man, I'm trying to think of like movies where somebody bursts out of a cake or something.
I'm sure. I think that Singing in the Rain, doesn't that happen in that?
I don't recall that. No. Older Gene Kelly.
Don't quote me on it.
Okay, I will not quote you.
Yeah, don't, motherfucker.
Oh, okay, wow, all right, jeez. Let's get into the news, Zach. Give me some new news.
So
New.
that was good, very good.
I'll do a actual. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So biggest thing right now, obviously, is the coronavirus and how it's affecting the industry. So I'm gonna go over real quickly.
I forgot.
What?
We both forgot. We both saw Onward as well.
No, you saw Onward.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you had seen it.
No, I was gonna see it and I didn't see it.
It was okay. So, I'm sorry. I know we already did the news. Let me just do it really quick.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
Onward, Pixar movie. So you're getting a pretty good quality. It's okay. Just if you don't know my background, I'm not really into kids animated movies all that much anymore.
You say that, but you are always going to see them.
I still go to see them because it's something to talk about. It's a water cooler moment. Pixar movies are watched by just about everybody. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
most people see them. They have a kid, they're going to go take them to a Pixar movie. They're not going to go see Bloodshot.
Yeah.
We didn't see any movies that came out this weekend because of the coronavirus, so we'll get into it. But, Onward was great. I thought the voice acting from Tom Holland and Chris Pratt were great. Mm-hmm. I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus was a fantastic choice for the mom.
I read a review that was something to the effect of... it feels deeply personal, but then it's been watered down by, studio-ness, studio bigwigs.
There's definitely, it's a very personal story, just like you said, that feels like it could have taken place in something that wasn't a magical universe set in present day. I feel like they could have done more with this universe in this movie, but with what they presented, and it's such a small cast. It's literally the 3 actors I mentioned and maybe 2 other people that they bump into on their adventure. But it also seemed very quick. It was a very fast-paced movie because they're constantly on the move trying to... They're on a deadline because they want to see...
It's a road trip.
Yeah, it's a road trip movie. Yeah. But it definitely feels like a personal story that could have taken place in a different setting and been just as powerful. I teared up at the end. There's a teary-eyed moment towards the end. It's a Pixar movie. It's going to happen.
Right, yeah, of course.
But at the same time, it's just I feel like this affects people who have more of an attachment towards, this is going to sound bad, towards, their family and having not spent time with them enough, So this is going to hit people harder in different ways based on the story that is presented, obviously.
Gotcha.
So maybe it's just me.
I
thought it was good, though.
Well, that's good. I had it in the news. Its box office was fairly okay for a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Its opening box office, it was $40 million, but that's lower than the projected of 45. So that's kind of that, along with the metered response that I'm seeing, it kind of ties in together. I feel like I never got the feeling that a whole lot of people were really stoked to see it. They're just like, oh, it's a movie.
It is a movie. we always say that.
It's a movie.
It is a movie, but it's good. It's not bad to watch. It's very. I keep saying it, but it's personal.
Right.
Whereas the Toy Story movies are like, oh, look at that cute thing saying that funny thing.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and then Suicide Pact.
Yeah, and then Suicide Pact. Forgot about 3.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you generally enjoyed.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get back to the news, though.
So coronavirus, right, affecting a lot of productions. And what are you doing? My dog is in my lap, and he is uncomfortable, I guess.
Well, that's a hard place to get comfortable.
But he doesn't want to be on the couch.
On the couch or the blanket, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can move him over.
Are you good?
He's also breathing very hard.
Don't forget your headphones. Okay. Just didn't want you to. Although that I don't see how that would happen in real life. You see that happen in movies and TV shows where they're like
ah,
but it would really just be.
Off. Yeah.
I mean, it would choke you like this.
Yeah.
It's happened to me. It's happened to me. That's how I know.
Like a sort of David Carradine situation.
No, not like that. Like, all right.
Damn it.
But then it would just be like oh man, that's it.
That was not as enjoyable.
And
as
then it unplugs my headphones, and then of course everybody in the apartment building is like hearing all the porn.
Hi, I'm Gina. Welcome to Friday Flatulence. Nick, I know you're watching. You're my only OnlyFans.
It's only $1. It's very low tier. It's cake farts, man. You don't have to pay much for that.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't do the coronavirus story after that. No. Yeah. So coronavirus is affecting the production of a lot of movies going on right now.
It's a serious pandemic. Yeah.
I was going to run down a list of things that have been either delayed or postponed indefinitely, because we got a bunch of stuff.
Shit ton of stuff.
Biggest one probably is Mulan. That and A Quiet Place too. Those guys were
movie-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were. I was just gonna stick to movies.
Okay.
Like South by is canceled and E3 and all that.
No, I meant like TV as well. Do you have TV?
A little bit of TV, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
So Mulan and Quiet Place Part 2 have both been delayed with no new releases announced as of yet. Also, New Mutants as well as Antlers.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah,
New Mutants
is never gonna happen.
There was actually a petition. I don't know if you have it in the news. There was a I don't know how big it was, but a petition to just release New Mutants onto Disney Plus now that it's a Disney property.
I mean, it would probably be Hulu, but yeah.
Right, because it's a more mature product.
Yeah.
But still, they don't get the money that they've invested so much into this film. They just want to get their money back.
Yeah. And then No Time to Die has also been pushed.
Made me so sad, man. I was so excited for that movie.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute. And I think theirs got pushed to November.
Yeah. Which is honestly a better release date anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. They're probably sticking to that now because it was further out as it was, but with these ones that were just coming out in like a couple weeks, they haven't said when they're coming out. I'm assuming they're just waiting to see what happens with the virus.
Yes, I think MGM specifically is they're being very positive, not positive. What is it? Optimistic when it comes to when a large majority of this will hopefully blow over. Not to minimize, of course, a pandemic, but they're hoping that by November, and it's a good award season release date. Not that they're looking for awards, but it's a better release date for a big action movie that can hopefully get more views by the time everybody is kind of more out and about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I it's honestly better than what happened to Fast 9. Do you have Fast 9?
Yes, I was actually going to bring that up next.
Yeah.
The biggest delay by far is Fast 9, which was originally supposed to come out in May. It has now been delayed until April of next year. 2021.
And you say the biggest delay as of right now because the ones that are indefinite, we don't know.
So that's true. And a bunch of production has been halted as well.
Yeah.
So you had Disney's Little Mermaid live action sort of thing. Jurassic World Dominion, Mission Impossible 7.
Like basically everything,
really.
Yeah.
Even the Home Alone reboot.
I did not know that was happening.
Yeah. Marvel's
Eternals?
No, that actually wasn't on the delay, surprisingly. But Shang-Chi production was delayed.
Yeah.
And then I was telling you, literally right as we were sitting down to record, I read a story like a day or two ago that was talking about how the Matt Reeves, the Batman, was not going to be delayed.
No,
we're going on with production, like no worries. And then literally as we're sitting down to record, I see a new actually an updated version of that news story, that it will be delayed. Production has been halted for 2 weeks, which is very optimistic. A lot of these like releases or companies rather are doing closings for like the end of the month, and I think that's kind of like what you were getting at. I think where it's like pretty optimistic. But.
You're very optimistic. I'm not one to normally be a negative Nancy when it comes to big world events and stuff like that.
Right.
But with something like this, when people are delaying, like schools can only delay this kind of thing for kids to come back for so long. Businesses can be closed for only so long.
Right.
But eventually they will have to open back up, and then we'll have to see what happens.
Yep.
But hopefully people will be able to take care of themselves and either get tested and be able to quarantine more, and
yes,
hopefully we'll be able to see not fix, but hopefully people will get better soon, and hopefully we'll find a solution to this, so that, and I'm not saying this in a personal way, but to where things can kind of get back to normal, to where people can kind of get back to
enjoying their lives.
Because I won't say that movies are an essential part of life, because a lot of people don't go see movies ever.
Yeah.
But
it's an escapism.
It's an escape from reality. It's an escape from stuff like this. So people, and I'm not saying movie theaters are closing down, but some, some independent ones actually are.
Well, a bunch of, I think actually all the chains, excuse me, in Europe just closed.
Yeah.
And then I actually have it in the docket here. AMC is doing this, and actually the movie house that's right around the corner from us.
Yeah.
They just sent me an email today where they are limiting capacity to 50%. And the movie house even just flat out said, like, when you go to book a seat online,
it's every other
one. The next seat adjacent to the one you're booking is going to become available.
I've wanted this feature for movie theaters already. When I try to buy a ticket, and I'm not trying to minimize the virus again, but whenever I try to buy a ticket for the Cinemark app, you have to buy a seat adjacent to someone else so that you don't leave an empty space in between. Right. Had to wait for a virus to break out for something like that. I know, I'm, again, not trying to make a joke of it, not trying to minimize everything that's happening, but I just kind of don't want to sit next to a total stranger when I have an entire row of empty people, and I just wanted to sit like an extra one seat away.
Well, it's the equivalent of like, I parked farther away from the store, so I wouldn't have to worry about anyone parking next to me.
Right.
And I don't care about walking.
Yeah.
And then some jackass comes and parks
right next to
me.
Yeah.
Like, you motherfucker.
It's like Clark Griswold parking at the very end of the parking lot on the first vacation, and somebody parking right next to you. It's like, what the hell, man?
So those are the big movies. There's a bunch of other ones too, but those are like the big ones.
Right.
And moving on to television, there were things like The Flash getting production halted. And the biggest thing I feel is Stranger Things, along with all Netflix production, has been halted.
I thought you were going to say Westworld, because Westworld.
That's premiering.
Is it?
Tomorrow.
Yes, but the entire season wasn't part of the. What am I?
I don't.
Was I reading a different headline?
I think Westworld's all set to go.
I think it was a combined headline then. Never mind. I thought HBO is definitely still halting productions on some of their stuff.
Yes,
well. But that's kind of.
Yeah.
Everything is being halted. All right, just assume that a show that you were worried about, they were in the middle of filming and everything. It's been halted.
Yeah. Or at least pushed
back. Yeah. You know what's ironic? I'm waiting for the headline to say, The Stand has been halted indefinitely due to coronavirus, because that would be ironic. If you've read The Stand or seen the miniseries from the 90s, it's essentially what's going on right now.
So that's basically all the coronavirus. Oh, sorry. I did have
once again a new case pops up.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the shooting shut down because of that.
I thought they were done filming, because that's the first TV show to premiere on Disney Plus, right? That's like in August.
Mandalorian.
Is Mandalorian coming out before or after? I thought it was October.
Oh, I thought you meant just in general. Yeah, I think that's the next new one.
Disney Plus, Marvel,
like the big one.
Yeah.
That's in August, and then WandaVision is in December, I think, and then Mando's in October.
And Loki is
September.
Oh.
It's basically like a month. Or
With
no,
each?
Loki's farther out, I think.
Is it next year?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
Anyway, let's get away from coronavirus for once.
Well, I'm trying.
So Last of Us, a while back they were going to do a movie
Yep.
for it. Well, now that's been axed, but instead they're going to do a TV show on HBO.
You know who it's written by?
I have it here.
Craig Mazin.
Yes, Craig Mazin from Chernobyl.
Oh, I was going to say Rocket Man. But yeah.
Oh, that too.
No, not the new Rocket Man, the one with the farting spacesuit.
Yeah.
It was that one.
And
a good
Neil Druckmann, who was originally going to be the director for the movie.
Yeah.
So he's back on.
He's back on as a producer, right?
Yes.
So the writers, he's not the writer, but the original director of the first game and the sequel is going to be there making all the decisions to make sure that everything is being kept faithfully. You know what I hope? And I'm sure you saw the arguments, and I'm sure you saw like the fan casting for all of the different choices. What I hope is that they do, and I'm sure everybody involved loves the property enough and hopes the best for the success of the project that they are going to put the care into it. I hope that they do an entirely new and different story with a different set of characters. They already said that they're going to focus on...
I haven't seen anything, but I just don't think they're going to.
I think that they should, because it's an entire outbreak that covers...
Sure, yeah. I mean, you could definitely...
the world.
Make the argument of why. And, hey, I actually, now that I think about it, I get to go 50-50.
Fear the Walking Dead. Still successful. It's a successful TV series.
Very true, yeah.
And The Walking Dead, technically. They introduce all kinds of new characters in that, and they're
I feel like if you're going to see a tweet, it's going to be something like, we're going to see Joel from the very beginning onward, as opposed to
in the gap of 20 years? Okay, see, okay, fine. I'll concede.
I feel like that, if they're going to do anything, because you can see, and I actually have it
like the end of the series is him meeting Ellie for the first time?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Like, end of first season, it jumps forward 20 years, and like, oh, here's Ellie.
I just don't want to see the same... I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I just don't want to see the same exact story that I experienced back in 2013 when I played the game.
Yeah,
because it's a great story, but like we experienced that already.
My counter argument would be HBO bought the IP, or not the IP, but like they want to...
The rights.
The streaming show rights. Ah, fuck it. I don't know. They acquired that, or at least so they can show it for the recognition.
Right.
And there are plenty of people who have not played the game, so they're like, well, fuck, that's a great story right there. Everyone who loves the game, 80%, I'd say, and that's being pretty low ball. Mm-hmm. I think you're actually kind of in the minority when it comes to people wanting to see something new as opposed to what they've already seen, because they know they like what they've already seen. They're comfortable with that.
I suppose.
So if you go with that, then you make the previous fans happy, and you get to show a bunch of new people, hey, this is a really good fucking story. That being said, I'm totally with you. I'd be down for like a different thing, because yeah, I've already played Last of Us several times. I'll be playing part 2, so...
I was actually going to say, I don't know if you have it on the docket.
Yeah.
Okay, then proceed.
Because I assume what you're talking about is on here anyway. I can't read your mind.
Then can I go ahead and say it?
Yeah,
Then
you can say it.
Expound. They're not going to start production on the show until after part 2's release.
Correct. Yes.
So I'm not going to say it's going to involve part 2, but it's probably going to tie in some way as well as part 2. Yeah. So...
yeah, I don't know.
My hands are up in a shrugging motion. Sorry, audio listeners.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can use the property. I mean, like, essentially, when it all comes down to it, it's a zombie property.
Yeah.
So, like, do whatever the fuck you want.
And it's HBO, so they're going to be fighting The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'll be interesting to see how a new quote-unquote zombie show that is on HBO measures up to something like The Walking Dead, which has been going on for a bajillion seasons,
right?
On AMC. You know, like that'll...
And do you think it's going to pull away from... it just depends on whenever it premieres, but Maybe it'll be an off season from Westworld if it continues past season 3.
Honestly, the way they're advertising Westworld, I'm curious to see if they're going to do a season 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely looks that way. Hopefully, HBO knows when to stop a show. They don't cancel shows early. They know that they trust the creative teams that are in charge of each individual product. Boardwalk Empire ended exactly as it should. The Sopranos ended exactly as it should. Nearly every I don't want to talk about that show. You know what I'm talking about.
To be fair, they wanted that show to extend.
Yeah.
They offered an extension on
because they had faith in the team.
Yeah.
And, I'm not even going to blame HBO. That was the team themselves that gave up on that property. So.
I like how we're not, it's gotten to the point where we don't even utter the name of the show.
It's like Hamlet.
It's like Voldemort.
Yeah. Why the fuck would you say his name? Why the fuck would you say his name?
So, moving on, I had it in here to segue off The Last of Us because in a very similar vein, they're taking the Uncharted movie and doing like a prequel. So, it's following a young Nathan Drake. But anyway, off of that, Sony has officially signed on Ruben Fleischer to direct
and
after
that's
he's
Zombieland.
like Venom as well.
Yeah, Venom and Gangster Squad.
Forgot about Gangster Squad. Did you see Gangster Squad?
I did, yeah.
That was a
I worked
poor
in the movie
man's
theater.
excuse for the Untouchables.
It was coming out in the same time that Boardwalk Empire was ending, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because they have the exact same, they have similar characters in each property, and I'm like, they are doing it so much better. And look at it, it's HBO, it's a TV show, and it's been going on for 5 seasons. What the fuck is this, Ruben Fleischer?
So anyway, that guy's doing Uncharted. He's
set to direct.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's like the 9th director on it.
I can't imagine he would stick around just because Marvel are going to want him back for
Venom
whatever.
2.
Well, no, they're already doing Venom 2.
They did that, yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, are they still technically in pre-production for that? Because
No, I think it's done.
it can't be done.
Well, it's got to be in post at least because release date is May.
Is that this year?
Yeah,
Fuck, man.
maybe later in the year, but
can't-
it is this year.
Yeah, it's not May because Morbius comes out before it.
Pretty sure it's this year.
Well, I'm looking that up. Go on with the next news story. Please.
Taika Waititi is, I don't know if it's on hold now, but he is set to write, direct, and executive produce 2 animated series. Yeah.
October. So, and Morbius is
He's set to do all that for 2 animated series for Netflix, based on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
nice.
Yeah.
That's who I want doing Charlie.
That's
and
a
the Chocolate
good
Factory.
fucking pick,
Yeah,
man.
July for Morbius.
Okay.
Yeah, so weird. Marvel movies this year are gonna be weird.
They are
Black Widow. It was Black Widow delayed, by the way. It was delayed.
I haven't heard, actually.
It was.
That was,
I think.
that was one of the ones that originally didn't get delayed at all.
Yeah, because I think it's pretty much too close to be set in stone because it's coming out.
May.
Yeah.
But they're probably waiting to see what happens with Mulan, like when that's coming out, because they want to, I would imagine, give that some breathing room.
Yeah. There's a huge paragraph about the coronavirus affecting No Time to Die, but not Black Widow. And they were going to take the November release date for the Eternals, with the latter being delayed until 2021. But Disney confirmed with its exhibition partners that it still intends to release Black Widow in May 2020 despite the pandemic. Okay, so good.
We'll see.
They need
what
to win
happens.
right now.
Well, we'll see what happens when we get closer to that. If everything isn't blown over by then, but
I know we moved away from it, but did you hear about them being projected? They're losing $20 million a day by not releasing these movies.
I mean, the initial delay for James Bond was something like 40 million.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's insane.
Yeah.
And that's digging into their projected profits for these movies, so you know it's going to affect decisions for sequels and projects in the future.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
No,
Didn't
you're
go
good.
back there.
Just got a couple left here.
All right.
Following off what we were talking about with The Invisible Man, James Wan is developing and set to produce a Universal monster movie with Robbie Thompson. He is the writer for Supernatural.
Oh, okay.
So there's that, and then also a Dracula film has been confirmed to be in the works following the success of The Invisible Man.
I think as long as they get a creative team behind these projects that care about the property, that want to make a good horror film with a low budget. And, you know, honestly, I don't even think about the low budget for Blumhouse films. It's automatically assumed.
Right. Yeah.
I know that these movies are going to make a profit no matter what.
Right. Well, they keep their budget low
Yeah.
and then work with what they have.
Yeah. So, and it's insane what they can do. I mean, you talked about The Invisible Man at the beginning of this podcast about how the low budget, you know, it
actually helps the movie, I feel like.
It helps it so...
Because, like, there are points where you're like, okay, this right here, this costs some money, but it's like, it's just that.
Like, that house is probably a large majority of that production's money.
Yeah.
Thing.
And then every other thing, like all the visual effects stuff, that's done in post.
Yeah.
So, and it's minimal visual effects, too.
Yeah,
so.
Post-production. Yeah, because it's an invisible character.
Fuck, I just forgot to talk about. It's more for you than for the listeners, so it's great content.
Yeah, fuck you.
That restaurant scene.
Oh my god!
Fuck! I audibly went, "Oh fuck!"
I did too. And I was in a theater that was not hugely packed. So we're going back. Sorry, we're time traveling back an hour, but. Just like that restaurant scene, you see it in the trailer and you're like, oh, okay, it's just gonna be one of those in between the
very
stairs.
Very
talky, and then
scene.
bam.
Nope, not talking anymore.
And then the way that everybody reacts in the restaurant,
it's like slow, and then it like, oh,
that's exactly what would
it's
happen.
like, oh fuck,
Yeah, God, and that. Well, just thinking about it gives me chills because I was like, oh, because it goes,
and it comes out of nowhere.
Yes,
just like. It's a totally normal scene, and then it's not. Guys,
it's not
go see Invisible Man.
It's not a jump scare, and it's just good. It's a good. It's a good movie. I'll probably rewatch that.
Yeah. And then to wrap up news, a new Scream movie is in the works, and it will be directed by Matthew Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who did Ready or Not.
Okay, all right. Did they say who's writing it?
Does not.
If it's not,
say who's writing.
It has to be somebody who has the capacity to realize that this is not a parody, but it's a satire.
It's a deconstruction.
It's a deconstruction of the horror genre.
Do you like Scream? I seem to remember you just not liking
I don't hate them. I think that the first film, and ironically, the fourth film, do the best job of what they're trying to, the point that they're trying to get across, that it's a satire of the film genre, especially the fourth one being a remake reboot of the series.
Yeah.
But the second and third one are kind of like the first one made money, so we need to keep doing it.
Well, the second one is like the same thing, but with sequels. You know, like it's a sequel genre. Like the villain has to come back. You know, it's Scream.
Yeah.
So
fucking Jamie Kennedy.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what these guys have in store for it, because I remember you saying you liked Ready or Not.
I did. I loved Ready or Not. In fact, if just go see Ready or Not, because it's another. If we're getting the same directors, they know how to at least film a great satire of a horror film. Oh man, the ending scene of that film was great. You should watch it. You would like it. Black comedy is right up your wheelhouse. But as long as we get the great directive team behind. I don't know where I'm going with this. Good people involved.
As long as those guys are there.
Yeah, we're good. Well, and we need a good writer, because the script will have to be tight for a satire.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's either going to come off cheesy or it's going to come off as too serious.
Something to take into account is that it's being described as a reboot, not as a sequel.
Why not call it Scream 4 or Scream 5?
Yeah. And to your point, they did the remake reboot thing with Scream 4.
Yeah.
So now what are you doing? What are you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It almost seems
interesting.
And the whole thing about Scream 4 existing, and the whole twist that lies therein, being both a sequel and a remake reboot, it's supposed to kind of tie off that entire franchise into never having a sequel or being a reboot. Yeah. With the original creator of the franchise being, no longer alive, it's kind of hard to, bring that passion back to a franchise that's no longer the original owner's, baby.
Well, there's a couple things you could say to that about that I feel like have been taken by other people.
Such as?
Hold on.
I'll give you one. I will give you one.
One what?
I don't know.
Well, shit. I mean, The Invisible Man. No one on that film certainly worked on the original.
I guess, yeah. But to be fair, it's not. It's a totally different look. It's not the exact same story, And
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to do with this.
Yeah.
But Courtney Cox may come back. David Arquette is a wrestler now, so he's not doing that. And he's
been a wrestler before.
But
he's champion, motherfucker.
Shut up. He's only doing. Oh, remember Ready to Rumble? He's doing his own thing. So a lot of even the actors.
Yeah.
Nev Campbell is. Has she retired or something? I haven't seen her in anything recently.
Skyscraper.
Oh yeah, she's still acting.
Is she going to be in the remake of The Craft?
I didn't even know they were remaking The Craft.
Yeah.
Oh nope. Fuck me.
Oh yeah, look at you.
So she's coming back.
Yeah.
So she is actually technically the only person attached to come back.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. It's Scream.
Yeah.
But it's coming out next year, so I'm not even thinking about that until next year.
Yeah. Well, we got to get through all the delays too,
Yeah.
and fuck, man, it's gonna
It's gonna be a really interesting second half of the year.
Well, and that's not even that's just taking into account all the big quote unquote because the big movies range from smaller big studio titles to big budget blockbuster titles like the Mulans, right? But then you have all the indie showcases that were going to be shown at South by Southwest, and ostensibly they have no massive outlet right now. So that's a huge loss for the kind of smaller guys.
I feel like the only good alternative to that is selling those rights to a streaming.
It's got to be streaming, right?
That's what it's got to be.
I mean, I think we've had the conversation on here before where studios have to make the decision of whether or not they're going to get all of the profits based off of theater gross and merch or whatever after the fact, or if they're only going to get a portion of watches, a portion of
the amount of stuff being watched of that property. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, I think a lot of the big budget films aren't going to be set to streaming or anything.
Oh no, God no! I would be shocked.
The Mulans,
we would have to have a situation in which the very idea of sitting down and watching a movie at home, even that would be absurd for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because at that point,
we would have to really hate the outside world.
At that point, there has to be a cloud of gas on the ground.
Yeah.
That we cannot walk out. So Disney's
let's sit down and watch a movie.
So Disney is then let's release Mulan onto Disney Plus. But then everybody's there's a huge cloud of gas on the ground.
Let's not focus on Mulan. Let's focus on everybody being dead who were outside.
Yeah.
It's apocalypse times. So it'll be interesting to see. Zach, if people wanted to contact us, people wanted to contact us and say, hey, you're wrong. I'm totally sick I'm totally fine and not sick with the virus. I want to go see the movies. I want to see all the movies that you're watching, and I hate you and your opinions. And I fart on cakes, and there's not a problem with that.
My name is Gina. Hello, Nick. It's a long time no see.
Is she Russian now?
She could be.
It's long time no see.
Long time no see,
great.
friend.
Great.
I am not Gina. I am Gina.
Oh, fuck. Great. You're spawning like rabbits, these characters. If people wanted to contact us and give us their thoughts and opinions and comments and concerns and whereabouts, tell me where you are.
Don't tell me where you are.
Don't tell us. How could they reach us?
They can email us. Email ass.
Email ass.
Don't email ass.
Don't.
You can email oh my God.
Email us.
You can email us at lightscamera@gmail.com.
Yeah,
Nick, would you like to say the email that I struggled to say for 5 minutes?
We're talking about lightscameranonsense@gmail.com.
There you go.
lightscameranonsense@gmail.com. There's no weird spellings in there. It's exactly how it sounds. You can leave a comment on the YouTube videos if you like watching audio podcasts in video form for some reason. You can also visit us at patreon.com/lightscameranonsense and contribute as $1 to us. Honestly, every little dollar helps. Every little wee dollar. It helps us out.
Is that what you're doing with your dollars?
That's what I'm doing, man. I'm not going to strip club. You're kidding me? No, honestly, it really does help us out. It helps us afford the equipment that we use for the podcast. It helps us expand and do interesting things.
It helps
I
us
use
get beer.
I used my own money. I got my tax refund back, so Guinness and pie were on the menu. You didn't even eat a single slice.
I told you before you even bought the pie. I was like, you
I'm
can.
not a pie guy. Who said I hadn't already bought the pie when I texted you?
Well, that would explain why it was like a mess.
Yeah. This has been Lights Camera Nonsense, keeping you updated despite our best efforts.
We try very hard
Do we?
to keep you uninformed, yes.
It's very true. Make sure to tune in every 2 weeks for all the latest news, reviews, and how-do-you-dos. Okay, so the reviews aren't the latest. Because if the movie comes out the week before we record, then it happens. Like Onward.
Somewhat the latest.
Somewhat later. It's
Look forward to my year in the works review of Toy Story 4.
movies happen, all right, in the off time that we're not recording. But what I'm basically saying is the movie will still be in theaters when we give our opinion about it. Except for the movies that came out this weekend, because I didn't see them, you didn't see them. Bloodshot looks okay, I guess.
Yeah, I heard.
I still believe.
Look forward to that Valiant Comics cinematic universe.
Hey, The Crow was good. I don't think that was Valiant. I think that was.
That was a Dark. No,
Was it Dark Horse?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Make sure to stay in touch and tune in every 2 weeks for all the latest news, reviews, and how-do-you-dos.
How do you do?
Okay. Put in a little more effort. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye, Nick.
Okay.